for the smile piece, you're going to need 2 separate threaded needles of black embroidery thread. The first needle, you need to have 2 strands of thread. Go ahead and knot the end. Okay. The second needle, you need to have another piece just like the white where all 6 strands are included. So this is a thicker piece of black embroidery thread. Go ahead and thread your needle. Okay. Okay. Smile is a little tricky, so bear with me here. What you want to do is go ahead and start with your thick 6-stranded piece of embroidery thread. Okay. Where I like for the smile to start is below the eye, and there it's on the 3rd round over from the eye. So you can see here's the eye, here's 1, 2, 3 rounds. So it's in the center of that 3rd round over. Okay, and again, just below the eye. Go ahead and pull that through. Okay, you need to find the same spot on the other side. So again, 1, 2, 3, right? And just below and in the center of the 3rd round from the eye. Okay, and then pull that through. So you can see if you just left it like that, it's as close as you can get to being even. But that's not going to be the end of it. So go ahead and just take your needle, and I just leave it in the top of the head just to hold it. Grab your 2 strands of embroidery thread with your other needle. And this is going to be the strand that holds this thicker strand in the shape that you want. And let me show you how that works. Okay, so come into the 2nd row from your eye. Just go down, probably about, I'd say that's about a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch. Okay, you're going to come down below that thread to pull it down. Okay, you're trying to make a smile. So again, you're going below the thread so that when you pull your needle straight up, it's going to pull that thread down. Okay, now go ahead and pull your needle forward, stopping that knot there on the back. Now you want to go through the up and over your thicker embroidery thread, up and over, and then you're going to go into that same hole that you brought your 2-stranded thread through. This will lock the thicker strand in place because you're going around it. You're going around it. So you went up and under, out, and now you're going around it and back down into that same hole. There you go. You can see it pulled it down. You need to get to that same spot on the other side. Okay. And this you can play around with. You know, you can pull it down before you pull your needle through. You can pull this down and see, okay, do I like it there? It's actually pretty good. For my first try, I don't always get that very good every time I do this. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it there. So now I'm going to pull the thread through and again go up and over the thick piece of thread and into that same hole that you brought the 2 strands of embroidery thread through. Okay, and that again locked it in place. So now that we've got the smile, we need to do the little extra lines on either side. So this one I go ahead and I don't tie it off just yet because I want to make sure everything's tight at the end. So now I take my thick strand of embroidery thread. I'm going to come up. This time I'm coming up just next to the eye. This is on the kind of the edge just after that first round. So it's in between the first and second round here from the eye. Go ahead and come up. And then you're going to make sure that you have covered where the end of that smile is, okay? So you want to go ahead and cover that, and then just go, make it about even. So the same distance from where you're out right now to the smile, you want to do that on the other side. And this stitch is at an angle. Okay, there you go. You can see. So it appears that they're connected. You want them to do that. They're perpendicular to each other. Now with this one, because it's so far from the other side, you can, again, tie it off in the back, or you can just jump over. It's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and just tie it off. Okay. One more. Okay, snip that away. Now is a good time to also take your smaller 2 pieces of embroidery thread and tie those off as well. One. If you poke yourself, it happens. I just did, actually. I poke myself quite a bit when I embroider. If there's any loop, don't worry about it. It's on the back. It's knotted. It's fine. Nobody's going to see it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so you're done with the 2 strands. You still need that thick 6 strands, though. Let's go ahead and knot the end again. Okay, and that thread is knotted. Now go ahead and do that same little sort of cheek, that little cheek line here. Let's do that on the other side as well. Okay, so you want this to be a mirror image. Each side looks the exact same. So whatever that looks like on yours, you know, wherever you put the cheek circle, it doesn't really matter if it's right at the edge of the one row. That's fine. However it is, just make sure you match that on the other side. Okay, so go ahead and come up through where you started here, and then you're going to go down equal distance from your thread to the mouth, and then the mouth down again to where you want it to end. Okay. How does that look? Pretty good, right? So now all we need to do is tie off the end, and then we will be finished doing all of the embroidery details on our happy sunflower's face. It doesn't take too long. Go ahead and snip the end off. Oops, there we go. Just to take one more look. Perfect. Look how happy he looks. Hope you found this helpful. Again, you know, doing these sorts of embroidery details, you'll see that a lot. That is how they do the mouth a lot. If it's a squiggly mouth, you're just taking those little two strands of embroidery thread and going around that thicker thread in order to pull it the direction that you want. So it just fastens it in and allows you to just use that one piece of thick thread throughout. And then, yeah. Once you've finished that, just tie it off on the end. Again, it looks like a mess, but don't worry about it. You don't see it when you look at the front, do you? So, thanks guys. Stay tuned for more videos.